Assalamu alaikum girls. Today we are going to study simple harmonic motion again, and the SLOs we are covering today is draw the forces acting on a displaced pendulum, solve word problems related to time period of a simple pendulum, and the third one is describe the damping progressively reduces the amplitude of oscillation. So first SLO, before starting the first SLO, just this revising simple pendulum. Simple pendulum, you can see, is a small mass. In this case, it is a bob that is attached to a pivot uh, with the help of inextensible string. Now, you can this pendulum can be moved on either side. It can be displaced on either side, whether left or right. The distance it is covering horizontal is that your displacement amplitude, and this length from this vertical line passing through the fixed support to the center of mass of the bob is your length of the pendulum. Last time we just learned that the time period of the simple pendulum depends on length and the gravity. So this is about the simple pendulum. Now what are the forces acting on a simple pendulum? There are two dominant forces that are acting on the pendulum, and one is the gravitational force, and the other is the tension in the string. Or there is the force of gravity that acts downward upon the bob. It results from the Earth's mass attracting the mass of the bob, and there is a tension force acting upward and toward the pivot point of the pendulum. The tension force results from the string pulled upon by the bob of the pendulum. Okay, now, so this is your restoring force. A third force that always opposes the motion of bob is air resistance, but this is a relatively weak force, so we are not going to consider that. We are going to draw the two main forces on that. So if you just look at that, this is the displaced pendulum. These two are the displaced pendulum. This is the pendulum on the mean position. Again, these two are the displaced pendulum. Now you can see the force of gravity is acting downwards, and this never changes, and there is a force that is acting upward, that is the tension in the string, that during the course of the vibration cycle it changes. Now how we are going to draw these forces on a pendulum? This is actual our SLO. Draw the forces on a displaced pendulum. So the answer is that this is the mean position, this is the bob of the pendulum that is displaced till here. Now you can see that this is the mass acting downward, mw is equal to mg. This is the tension in the string, and this is the angle it is displaced. Okay, now this is the length. Now in physical situation in which force acting objects are not in the same opposite or perpendicular direction, it is customary to resolve or one or two of the forces into component, and you can see that this mg, w is equal to mg, it is neither opposite to anything, and neither it is perpendicular, or neither it is same to tension. So we are going to resolve mg into two components that you have learned earlier in class 9, resolution of vectors. Weight is a vector, so one component is mg cos theta and other component is mg sine theta. Now you can see why we place minus sign over here. You know that the displacement factor, it is always restoring force that is taking it toward the mean position. Displacement and restoring force are always in the opposite direction, so we take minus sign just show the direction. So now, so in this case, so these are the forces. The tension is balanced by, that is mg cos theta, so these two are balanced in this direction, and bob will not move in this direction. So this is mg, that is its two components, and only the net force acting on this pendulum is minus mg sine theta. So the pendulum will move linearly in an arc form in this direction. So this is the two major forces on the pendulum. Okay, now This is again the same figure, but in this the pivot or point of support is not shown. This is the bob. This is mg cos theta. This is mg sin theta. This is w, and this w is equal to mg is resolved into x coordinate component and the y component, fx and wx and wy. Okay, now next your SLO is solve the word problem related to the time period of a simple pendulum. Okay, so you can see this is the simple pendulum. L represent the length of pendulum from the support to the middle to the center of mass of the bob. Uh, this is when we move it, we displace the pendulum by an angle theta, the restoring force component. Now this is the restoring force component that drives the bob back to the initial position, that is the position of rest. So the time period is that when the bob moves, I'm taking bob to the third position, it moves towards 2, then towards 1, then back to 2, and 2 3. So this is one time taken by, this is your one vibration is called time period. So this is your one vibration. Okay, now so the formula again is length of his pendulum is proportional to the period of the pendulums, and this relation is expressed by t is equal to 2 pi under root length upon gravity L upon g, where t is time period. Period is also, that is the time period. L is the length of the pendulum. G is the acceleration due to gravity. Now example 1. Question: what is the period of a simple pendulum with a length of 1 meter, and we are going to use acceleration due to gravity as 9.8 meter per second square. That is a more accurate value. We usually take it approximately 10 meter per second square. You can take either. Now the solution is, first, Grasp rule: G given, L is equal to 1 meter and G is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Required is T, that is the time period of the pendulum, and the formula over here is T is equal to 2 pi under root L upon G. Now solution, how we are going to start the solution? We are going to apply the formula. We are going to substitute the values in that formula. In this case, it is L upon G. L is equal to 1 and G is equal to 9.8. Then we are going to divide these two. It will be 0.1. Take the root of 0.1. You will get 0.32. And you know what is the value of pi? Yes, that is 3.14. So you are going to place it 3.14, and the time period of the pendulum is found to be 2 seconds. Okay, just remember that. Where the conclusion is that when the length of the time period is 1 meter, the period of the pendulum is 2 seconds. It is on Earth. Since we are doing that, it depends on the value of G. On Earth, the value of G is different, and on Moon or any other planet, the value of G is different. So on Earth, this is when the pendulum has a length of 1 meter and time period of 2 seconds. This pendulum is called seconds pendulum. So whenever you come across the question of second pendulum, you always, this is given, this should be, you must remember that the time period is 2 seconds and length is 1 meter. It may not be given in your question, but you must remember that thing. So the example 2 is just how to find the length of the pendulum if the time period is given. Now in this question, we are given the time period, that is time period of 1 second. G value, as usual, it is a constant value, 9.8 meter per second square, and you are required to find how long of a pendulum. Long of a pendulum means you are going to find length. So what is given? Time period 1 second, G is 9.8, length we have to find, analyze. The formula will remain the same. Now let's start the solution. So in this, I am going to start with just transforming the formula, just making L as the subject of formula. You can also do it directly by applying, by putting in the value of G and T in this, and you can solve also. Now how I have isolate L, or I have made L as the subject of formula. first I have done taking this formula, I do squaring both the side to get rid of the radical sign. This will appear at like this: t square is equal to the square of 2 is 4 and pi square L by g. The next is I'm going to multiply, because I have to isolate L, so multiply by g to both the side. That gives me t square g is equal to 4 pi square L. Now I'm going to, in order to isolate L, I have to divide by 4 pi square on both the sides. Okay, now each side is divided by 4 pi. So over here it get cancels, and the formula of L will become t square g upon 4 pi square. Now what I'm going to do is, yes, just to apply all the values. Now time period is 1 second, g is 9.84 pi square in the denominator. Now 9.8 meter is left. This s square and this s square will get cancelled, and 4 pi value is 3.14. Put the value of the pi, square it, and you will get this result. So a simple pendulum with a period of 1 second will have a length of 7.8 meters or 78 centimeters. So this is your pendulum problems. Now that we will move to the last LO of this last SLO of this lecture. Describe that damping progressively reduce the amplitude of oscillation. Now, what is damped oscillation? So, what is a damp? The oscillation of a system in the presence of some resistive force is called damped oscillation. For instance, we all have experienced a swing. This, if you do not apply any external force, the swing will eventually come to rest, and you can see that its amplitude of vibration go on decreasing, decreasing, at ultimately comes to rest. Now you can see, the if I draw the waveform of the damped oscillation, the amplitude, we start swing with this amplitude, and again when there is only the air resistance is and the friction is the force, you can see the amplitude will decrease, and eventually it comes to rest. And this is your undamped oscillation, means that there is a perfect change of energy, and energy is not lost, and it will continue indefinitely like this. So this is the damped oscillation, then this is the undamped oscillation. Now how damping progressively reduce the amplitude of oscillation? Simple answer. It removes energy from the oscillating system. The oscillation consists of continual exchange of energy between kinetic and some forms of potential energy. In an ideal oscillator, this exchange is perfect, and so the amplitude of oscillation remain constant. In practice, some energy is lost to the maximum speed and the maximum displacement and become less with time. For example, pendulum swings less and less till it eventually stops. Now this is why the amplitude decrease, because the energy, it is losing energy to the environment. A vibratory motion of an ideal system in the absence of any resistance force continue indefinitely under the action of the restoring force. The force of friction retards the motion, so the system does not oscillate indefinitely. This is actually happens in our daily life. The friction reduces the mechanical energy of the system, and the motion is said to be damped, and it is damped progressively reduce the amplitude of vibratory motion. Now damping means that if you just take a spring, and if you stretch that, and when you just let it go, it will continue to move back and forth, and eventually it comes to stop. But sometimes we don't want that, and we want the things to stop very quickly, so we need to apply more resistive force so that its vibration stop quickly, and this is called heavily damped system. Energy is deliberately removed. Shock absorbers in the cars, dampers in a car suspension, or the closing mechanism on a self-closing swing door. Obviously, the swing door, when we close it, do not want it to swing continuously for some time. We want it just immediately stop swinging. So when this is done by heavily damping, means adding more resistive force. In this case, you want the door to simply close, not swing open in the opposite direction, and then swings to and fro many times. So this is what damping, and this is the one of the graphs. So you can say that this is the displacement versus time graph, and you can say the displacement, full displacement, and when it is losing energy, its amplitude is decreasing. Okay, now I'm going to show you a video for this damped oscillation that will make your concepts clear about that. Okay, so we are going to see an activity that is performed in the lab. Okay, now this is, you see, in a lab, an apparatus is arranged. This is the pivot of the apparatus, and it is on a freely moving object. It is mounted, and you can see the two magnets are there. When these it is vibrated, it is vibrating like a simple pendulum. And this aluminum sheet. Okay, now you have counted how many these click sounds are there, or you can just count how many vibrations are there. It is almost, we say that it is almost 11, 12 vibrations are there. So this is the aluminum block, and this is the magnet. If I keep the aluminum block closer to it, the resistive force, means the attraction between the magnet and aluminum increases, so the resistive force increases. So how the, if I'm going to move aluminum sheet further, you can see that it will, the vibrations will be lesser. And if I'm going to continue to bring it closer to the magnet, you can see that its vibration decreases. Even at one time, there is not a single vibration in that. So this thing is called heavily damped, means the vibrations are reduced. Now it is moved further. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this time 8 vibrations are there. Now resistive force is further increased at 8 millimeter. 3, 4, 5. So you can see that further it is, distance is decreased, it means more resistive force. 4, 5, 6. Okay, you see that 5, after 5 vibration it is stopped. 1. You can see 2 times only you can hear. Now you can see that the oscillations are damped. Now it is very, very close, say 2 millimeter. You can see only one vibration, it stops. So this is how. So you have seen that this is how the oscillations, we are taking the ampere, keeping the amplitude same, but you can see that if the force is, the aluminum sheet is coming closer to the magnet, the resistive force is increasing, and the vibration of that scale is becoming less and less. So this is called damping, means that the vibrations are reduced, and if the vibrations are reduced quickly, it is called critically damped. Okay, now, so this is what uh, is damping. You can see the oscillation is reducing, amplitude is uh, becoming smaller and smaller. So this is all about our today's topic. So thank you very much for the listening. Inshallah, we will meet again for the more topics on wave motion.